Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Olivia. I make videos about sewing, gardening, natural medicine, things like that. Today is October 12th and I am just now starting to make Halloween costumes. I know I'm a little behind. It's making me anxious too. So my 1-year-old daughter, I drew up a plan. She's going to be a bumblebee. Since she's so obsessed with bumblebees, she'll point them out and be like, Bumblebee? Bumblebee. She knows bees very well, so she's gonna be a bee. So I'm thinking it's gonna be hooded, right? With a vest. I'm sure it's probably just gonna button as a shirt, and then it's gonna kind of cape out, but as a stinger, you know, instead of like a cape. And the pants, I'm thinking of just making flowers to put on her pants. And she's gonna be fuzzy, and she's gonna have wings, and it's gonna be really cute. So I did go to the store. I went to Hobby Lobby and they had actually a pretty good selection of fabrics that I was looking for. So I had no issue really finding fabric. This is like a 4 or 5T size. But yeah, I found it at the thrift store. And then this is all the fabric that I got. So I was thinking the liner, since it's nice and soft, would be this. I got 1.5 yards of this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I definitely got too much because she's tiny. I got 1 yard of this gray mesh for the wings. I got probably less than 1/2 yard, maybe 1/2 yard of this fuzzy material for her, I guess her vest it would be. Okay. And then I got 1 yard or 2 yards, maybe 1.5 yards of this fuzzy, soft, lumpy. I got that same one in black. Okay, I got this shiny material. I got like 1/8 of a yard for the eyeballs, right? I got some black bias tape and some bee buttons. This is my slip of everything I got. I did get 2 extra fabrics that were on clearance. But yeah, so that's what we have. So I am doing this without a pattern. I just kind of drew everything up. I am going to go find a hoodie that is about her size. And I'm just going to probably trace the hoodie. And would that be considered a pattern if I'm tracing clothes? I'm using the clothes she already has as a pattern. Okay, I just went and grabbed one of her jackets, and this is going to be my template. Template. Okay, so instead of a hood being 2 parts, this one has 3 parts. But basically, I'm just laying down the hood, and I'm going to cut slightly bigger than the hood itself. Okay, so now I have the 2 front pieces, and now I have to find a way to cut this middle piece. For the middle piece, what I'm doing is I'm just going down and measuring. It's 14 by 2.5. So I'm just going to mimic that, slightly bigger. So 3 by probably 15. Okay, so I have that middle section cut out, and now I have to do one of these in the liner as well. But I just decided that I'm going to do all the liner pieces together so I don't have to like unfold it and then do it again and back and forth. So now I'm going to do the vest part, the fuzzy vest part of the outfit. I'm going to start with the back of the vest. I folded the jacket sideways, and I'm going to cut, this is like the folded part, so that when I unfold it, it's going to be a full piece. But I'm just going to cut the back panel, and then I'm going to do 2 front panels. So, this is what I have when you open it, back of the vest. Using this material. It's like flying all over the room right now. You can't even see it. It's just got in my nose. But this is what I have. So I have 2 front pieces. And then the back piece. Should probably shape the neck a little bit more. It's pretty square. But yeah. Okay, so the way that jacket sits on her, it goes all the way to her waist. So I'm thinking I'm going to crop it because I want to have black and yellow on the front of her tummy as well. And then I'm just going to follow this down. I mean, this is actually pretty simple. So I put her vest sideways, and my idea is I'm just going to cut a rectangle. No specific measurements, just to match up the width of the vest. Okay, so what I'm doing next is I'm taking out the black material, and I'm going to cut another one the same size as this one. Okay, so there is 2 pieces of fabric, obviously. The top one, I am going to cut down the center to match the front, so it opens up like a vest. The back ones I'm going to leave as is. And I'm just, I'm going to leave the back ones as is. I'm not going to cut them. So this is kind of what I pieced together so far. So these are the front pieces, right? And then this would be the back of the costume. This is going to be her little tail. So what I have to do is taper it in so that it goes to a point of a bee sting. Now I am going to have to shorten this a lot because this is very tall. But yeah, so I need to somehow compress about 42 inches into 30. So I know I can cut about 5-6 inches off of this. So where would that take me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still need another 6. Oh, well, I didn't really do seam allowance, so maybe I'll just sew a lot. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to start by sewing all of these little panels together for the back. Alright, so we're getting there. It's looking like a bee. I did it. Somehow I managed to cut all of those inches down and make it actually a little too short. But you know what? It's better that way because then she won't be dragging the bee stinger all over the floor. But so this is what it's looking like. And about right here is where I'm going to cut it to taper it to that point. Okay, so now for the front of the vest, I'm just going to sew the panels together one side at a time. Starting with this side, what I'm doing is I'm basically taking the right sides together, and I'm going to sew that, and then I'm going to put the right sides together, and I'm going to sew that. So this is how it looks, and then I have to do this one. Okay, so now I have 2. I'm going to trace this on the liner, and I'm going to sew the liner to each piece, just the front pieces, as well as the one giant back piece. Also means we're going to have to pick a shape for the butt. So I'm going to fold it and shape it. Okay, so after cutting it, oh, it's the perfect little bee shape. Oh my goodness. Look at it. Sorry, I'm kind of making this up as I go. So I am actually going to start with the hood. I went and did the liner. I cut out the liner for all of it. Now, in my plan, she's going to have antenna, right? So the jacket I chose has that third middle panel here. So I'm thinking between all the panels, I think the antenna will go like this now. Instead of just 2, there's 1, 2, 3 pieces, right? I'm thinking the ears, I'm gonna sit them right between the two and kind of like sew it in like a sandwich. But now I have to make the antenna. Originally, I was going to do pipe cleaner. Thinking I'm just going to use some black fabric and really stuff the heck out of it so it kind of just sits up. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I kind of just took 2 pieces of fabric and sewed a random shape onto it that looks kind of antenna-like. So we're going to see what that looks like once I cut it. Okay, it's like kind of like a lollipop shape. It's going to sit on her head. Oh my god, it's perfect. Alright, so I have the 2 antennae, and they're so cute. Okay, so now I'm going to sandwich it in between my panels. First, I have to stuff these guys, and I've been saving a lot of scraps to stuff. Okay, so they are both stuffed. Okay, so as I'm pinning it, what I'm doing is I'm taking that rectangular strip, and I sandwiched the ear kind of where it's going to sit at the top of her head. Just pinning it all the way down, and I'm going to sew that, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. This is how half the hood looks, and if it fits on me, it's probably going to be big on her. Oops. It doesn't really stand up though, like how I wanted it to. I mean, either way, it's cute. Let's do the other side. Okay, so this is her sweet little hood. I kind of like the floppy ears. I think it's going to look cute on her. So now I'm going to sew together the liner the same way that I sewed this together. And then I'm basically just going to put right sides together and sew. Okay, so now that I have the bee hood and the liner, I'm going to put the right sides together. And I'm just going to sew along the front. Okay, so it's all clipped, and now you're just going to sew along the front of the hood. Okay, and then you're just going to flip it inside out. It's really cute. Okay, so now you have your bee hood. I think I'm going to do a top stitch over this so that it stays in place. And I'm probably going to do a top stitch along the middle section too. But I'll probably do that towards the end because I don't want to have to switch out my thread right now. This is what it looks like. That is so cute. This is what my floor is looking like, by the way, with all the fuzzies and stuff. Okay, so then I pinned the right sides together to the back piece, and I'm just going to sew that, leaving a spot for me to flip it inside out.
We know these notches. They're not even suggestions. They're not ideas. They don't even go anywhere that belong to
I did want to stuff the butt, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that and keep the stuffing down in the butt. Okay, now you're going to do right sides together for the front best pieces. So now I pinned the front piece to the back piece, just at the shoulders, and not all the way, because if you look at this jacket, it's only sewn a little bit at the shoulder, and then it goes around to the neck. So I'm basically trying to copy this jacket. Okay, so my original idea had sleeves. However, we're in Florida, and Florida's very hot, so I think I'm going to keep it without sleeves, and if it is cold that night, which I know it's not going to be, she could just wear a long sleeve shirt. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to attach the hood. So you're just basically going to pin it right sides together all along the neck, like that. But it is very late, so I am going to go to sleep and finish this tomorrow. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Everyone's awake in the house and the dogs are walking around, so it's going to be a little loud. But this is what I have so far. Nothing is really attached yet, just at the shoulders, okay? So I'm thinking before I attach the front piece to the back piece like this, I'm going to do the wings, since it would be easiest to just put it through the machine straight like this. So I'm gonna take a look at the wings and figure out how I want to do this. I have this mesh material, and where did I put the bias tape? I'm thinking the bias tape is gonna go around the wing. Hang on. Okay, so I cut out a practice wing just to see what it would look like, and I like the size that I did end up choosing. It's, I'll show you the measurements, even though it totally relies on the sizing of your costume. So it's about 14.5 by 6, and it's slightly misshapen like a wing. So now I'm going to cut that out through 4 layers of tulle. Okay, so since I cut through 4 layers, I have 2 and 2, and 2 and 2. Okay, 26 pins later, and I finally got the bias tape around the wing. So I'm going to go ahead and sew along that, and then figure out how to do the veins in the center of the wing. Are they veins? The little lines, right? I did find some of these that I could hand stitch on. I was thinking maybe, oh, well maybe the silver ones. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now I'm just gonna sew some random veins down the center. So this is how it's looking. This is how it's going to sit. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so I told you guys about these. I also have this thick, flaky glitter and some glue, like spray glue. I also have E600, but I feel like these are too flaky. I kind of want to just throw some glue down on it. What do you guys think? I want it to look like, you know how wings look kind of like shimmery like this? I want it to kind of look like that. I think I'm going to try that. Okay, I have no idea what I'm really doing, but I'm thinking if I take this glue and I spray it over the wings, and then I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, that's cute. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I think I messed up. Well, I have to do the other one now. Gotta see it through, my boy. That's to see it through. cheese break is over. Now I'm going to sew the wings on. Now I should have done this before I did the liner. I really don't want to go through and seam rip everything, so I'm going to see what I can do if I can just sew it through. Maybe I could go through here. We'll see, because this part is still open for me. Gosh, count how many times I say we'll see in this video. Ugh, I should not have done the glitter. So the glitter is so bad. I am going to put a layer of mesh over the glitter and sew it over to see if that does anything. Okay, I literally just sandwiched it over top and you can't even feel it now, so now I just have to cut it off. Okay, so I went ahead and I sewed the front of the vest to the side of the vest. So this is what it's looking like so far. This is the front, and then the back with the little wings. So cute. So now all I have to do is, I really want to stuff the butt. But I don't want the stuffing to travel or bunch. I'm going to stuff the butt. I am recording now. And I don't want to overstuff it. This is so cute. So I stuffed the butt. Now I think what I'm going to do is just a stitch where the vest starts on the back. Because I don't want the stuffing to go up. I want it to stay down in the butt. So now I just need to put the hood on. Oh, the eyes, the eyes. I need to do the eyes of the bee. So for the eyes, I got this shiny material. And I just need two eyeballs. So fold it in half and measure. Okay, so I took the two circles and I folded them in half and then half again. And I cut and it made a pretty decent circle. But I feel like that might be too big. No, that's fine. And then I think I'm just gonna zigzag stitch